Hey guys, how's it going? This is the Pride Gunner, and welcome to my spoiler talk sort of review, extra review thing for BioShock. Nope, I just recorded that review. My head is all mixed up. This is for Middle-earth Shadow of Mordor. I am being kind of stupid right now. But yeah, I have Defunky Duck here with me because it's a spoiler talk, so I need to be talking to somebody, not just to you guys. And we are going to talk about spoiler type things that happen in the story of Middle-earth Shadow of Mordor. So, if you don't want that spoiler for you, then please leave right now because, yeah, spoilers just aren't a good thing.
Do it now, or else I won't have any respect for you anymore.
Okay, also, Duck is doing a Q&A over on his channel, and he hasn't gotten many questions yet. So he would appreciate it if you guys could leave your questions in the comments, and then he'll get them. He'll have to come all the way over to my video.
What?
So yeah. Yeah, that.
I'm excited for that.
Okay.
All myself.
So, Middle-earth Shadow of Mordor. Let's just start off by asking you, what did you think of this game?
Well, I thought it was a very interesting, very interesting game. I liked it a lot. It was very slow at first. It was, you definitely felt the progression as you were going through it, but it was very slow.
Definitely.
You died a lot. You will die a lot still, and it takes a minute to master. And
it takes more than a minute.
It takes more than a minute to master, and a year to. I forgot the rest. All right. So anyway, there's a long old saying there. I'm pretty sure it had something to do with this, but who cares? Anyway.
Yeah. So what I thought was cool, and I talked about this in my review of Middle-earth Shadow of Mordor, and also in my Game of the Year video, was that I thought that the better story in it was the ones that you naturally form by fighting the orcs.
The actual campaign story. I'm sorry.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Yeah.
The actual campaign story was actually kind of best described as meh. It wasn't.
Yeah, it kind of was. It was kind of just a normal sort of revenge tale. Although there were some very cool things in it. I especially liked some things that tied into the Lord of the Rings and the Hobbit in there.
Especially Gollum.
Yeah. So should we just start start this off by talking about Gollum?
Yeah. It sounded really just like him, but not really because it was.
Yeah, it's actually not Andy Serkis who plays Gollum in The Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit. But the guy, he sounded just like him. I could tell slight differences just because I like The Lord of the Rings, and I don't know, I'm a fan of it. But
I put it right next to each other, side by side. I compared it for 5 hours straight. You can hear at least 3 audio bounces. All right, so go ahead.
So yeah, I thought that Gollum had a very interesting role in this game. One thing that I want to point out to you, maybe you didn't notice this, or maybe other people didn't notice this. What I thought when I first found out that Gollum was in this game is I thought, wait, why is Gollum in here? I feel like they're just putting him in here just because he's a very popular character in Middle-earth.
But it actually turns out he was living there, right?
Yeah, and what I picked up on that I didn't notice when I first started playing is in the Two Towers and in the Return of the King, Gollum knows his secret passage into Mordor, and that's cool and stuff, but this shows, this is how he knew it, because he was in Mordor before that. So this is when he was in Mordor before, and he's there because he senses Celebrimbor, the Bright Master.
Bright Master.
Yeah, he's there, which he's the elf ghost. I shouldn't be explaining this to people because they should have played the game.
Well, you should have looked at the game at least. Pay attention.
So yeah, I thought that was cool with Gollum in there. Also, one of my favorite parts in the campaign was when Gollum sang. That was awesome.
that was like right in there. 10 out of 10. Best game ever.
Yeah.
IGN.
So,
what was I gonna say after that? Alright. I really liked this Gollum. He was introduced as he's a rodent following us. What is he? And he came up and was like, hello, he's like, oh, and you just like, oh, hi there. He was like, like, oh, I don't like you. For some strange reason, the what was his name? Italian? Hated Colin for some reason. He was like, dude, he's just there. He hasn't tried to hurt you or anything. And even if he did try to hurt you, what does it matter to you? You can be revived whenever you want to. Like,
yeah, but then Celebrimbor seems more tolerant of Gollum.
yeah, probably because he's already
Because
ghost.
he's trying to find out his memories about who he was. He's the guy who like made the rings, and he's like, oh no, I didn't know I was doing evil things for Sauron.
Yeah.
Which should we just jump to talking about that, like the memory flashback things and Sauron and all that?
Yeah. Well, shouldn't we get to that after we start the like the beginning of the game? Should we do the beginning of the
Okay,
game first?
so let's just start going in order then. So, what did you think, like, of the very start to the game with the intro where he dies and his family's brutally murdered?
I felt like I didn't really care. They were being killed, and I was like, I don't really care. I don't like people. Yeah, okay, I guess it's sad, but I don't know you, so you don't ever actually you never actually have time to bond with him or anything. That's what makes you really feel the loss and everything is when you bond and you relate. You've known them for 5 minutes, and they're like, oh, you're dead. Okay.
Yeah, so I kind of disagree with that, but kind of agree to it. What I thought is, like, yeah, you would have felt worse, like, if you had known them for longer, but I do think this game does a very good job of getting you attached to them in the few minutes that it does have time to, while it also shows you tutorials for, like, oh, this is how you stealth kill people, but here, let's just sneak up and kiss your wife. That was funny. But
oops, I got that was my knife. Alright, you guys didn't see that, right? No? Okay, bye.
yeah, and then there was the sword fighting with the sun was cool.
Yeah, that was pretty interesting. But then it would do repeatedly go back to flashbacks when he was fighting orcs.
Oh yeah.
And like sneak mode. Oh look, crap! Sneak mode. Oh look at that! They're kissing. Oh good gosh. Yeah. It was kind of like.
I think that the tutorials didn't do a good job of getting you used to playing the game, because when you start out in like actual Mordor, you're just like, oh my gosh, I'm dying over and over, and I'm really weak, and there's orcs everywhere.
Yeah, don't exactly simulate the experience, but
Yeah, there's tons of things to learn when you first start off in that game.
Also, you'll constantly, always in the game, constantly be in a crouch position, like all throughout the game. Even when you're fighting, you're in a crouch position.
Why? Okay.
Have you noticed that? Because every time, every time I would do it, I'm an ultra stealth guy, so I'd be like, I don't want you to see me. And I would just kind of like waddle away.
Interesting.
To the very next day,
Got any grapes? Okay, but back to Shadow of Mordor. Let's see. So Gollum, that was early on in the game, and then what about the guy Hirgon? I think his name was the ranger friend guy who you help out.
Oh yeah. At first I kind of got a little bit confused. I'm like, okay, who are you again?
Yeah. Same here.
What are you in trouble for? I don't really know. And then he was kind of there, and he was gone. Like, he was just there, and he's like, I need to do this for me. I did it, and he was like, okay, bye. I'm like, oh.
Yeah, that was kind of weird with that character.
It kind of felt like he was going to be like a super main guy, like, oh, you need me to help kill Sauron or something really important, but no. Yeah, you're just going to be here. And no, bye.
Yeah. Now, this happens... Or wait, actually, first we should talk about something else. What about Ratbag?
He thought he was going to be more important. I thought he was going to be more important at first. But,
I thought that was cool how you help out this orc become more powerful, even though he was just some dumb, weak orc.
Yeah.
And then he just gets killed by the hammer, which was going to be the thing I talk about next.
Which is pretty funny, actually. What was I going to say? Yeah, I felt like Ratbag. I thought they even showed him in the trailers.
Yeah.
They used him as an example.
Mm-hmm.
Ratbag the coward. Which was a good example. You know, it really showed what things were and what their names were like. Speaking of names, we'll talk about that later, I guess. guess, but kind of felt like he was there. He was one of those characters that was there. You did a few missions for him, and then he was gone. No one in the game really sticks except that one girl.
Yeah, something with the campaign that I thought was interesting is, in some ways, it felt like it's just showing you how to do the things that aren't in the campaign, so that you can have the real fun in this game,
Yeah.
sort of. Yeah,
And
right.
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, go, because I was about to switch to the next chapter of the game.
Okay. I was just going to say that, yeah, the story mission kind of goes by a little slowly. Now, that might have been just me, because I focused mainly on killing everything. But,
Yeah.
that might have been just me, because the story missions, it seemed like going by really slowly, and they were introducing everything really slowly.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you don't even get the ability to control anyone by, like, until the end of the game.
Mm-hmm.
And then they don't even explain the hierarchy to you until, like, 12 missions into the game.
Yeah.
And then by the time you learn what war chiefs are and how you can lure them and stuff, you're like 15 missions into the game, and you're like, oh, okay, well, that could have been explained a while ago.
Mm-hmm.
The first few missions.
And, so, moving on here, what did you think about the boss fight with the hammer of Sauron?
I was actually kind of confused. Like, what do I do at first? I can't attack him like a normal guy. So I tried to sneak up on him, but, he found me instantly because he's a monk. You kind of didn't. Well, he wasn't hard or anything because, like I said, infinite possibility to never die. But once you learn how you're supposed to kill him and what you're supposed to do, he wasn't at all hard to kill because he would keep sending in waves of orc or to fight you along with him. And I only used their powers to help me recharge so I can hurt him more. I was like, okay, thanks. You're welcome. Because they brag that they're not cannon fodder, but that you can kill them pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Especially if you charge up your ability with that blue sword thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and you would kill them with that, and they're like, oh, he just stabbed them. What do we do? Run away! So
Yeah.
And they're like,
Hit streak.
hit streak. Speaking of which, can I go off into a real quick subject real quick? Do you mind?
I just want to say some things about the hammer,
Alright,
and then you can.
okay.
So, I thought that the fight with the hammer was my favorite non-scripted boss fight in it. I actually thought that it was pretty hard, and yeah, you do get the hang of it, and then it becomes kind of easier, but, it was hard and weird, and you kind of didn't know how to beat it at the start in this strange way. And
Didn't explain
I like...
anything.
Yeah, I like how when they had the hammer in that part, he felt really strong and like really evil in that sort of a Tolkien
I thought he was
evil
gonna-
character sense.
Sorry. I thought he was going to murder me.
Yeah, me
I
too.
thought he was like, oh, I'm going to die. I thought it was actually in the script to die, so I died like 5 times on purpose. I was like, nothing's happening. Oh, I'm supposed to kill him. Oh, that's great. So it was pretty funny when it happened.
Alright.
Anyway, can I... Okay, go ahead. You done?
Yeah, I'm done.
Alright. And another thing, when the, if you get caught in this game, which is why I like to sneak around so much, if you get caught in this game, you are screwed to both ways to Sunday. But it's really, really hard sometimes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
It's not
I
working.
don't know if someone's walking.
Alright,
Maybe Talion
No.
is walking to the second map. That's a great transition for this point of the story.
sorry.
So,
Yeah.
so you meet the princess lady character, and she takes you to the second map. So let's not talk about the princess lady yet. Let's talk about that map. I like the second map more than the first map,
Yeah, I was waiting.
partially because it's really colorful and green. And yeah, Utah.
Oh, I
Utah.
I think it's Utah. Like, what did you...
Utah.
What did you... Don't do anything with this. Yeah, I like the area too. It felt a lot more hostile too, because there's more like wildlife, and all the people there were a lot more.
Mm-hmm.
They felt like it was a lot more harder to kill. and everything was a lot more rugged.
Yeah.
So you had to climb things. And whenever you would try and climb things, when you were running away, you would always get like stuff thrown at you. So you're like, oh, look at that, I'm dead. I thought it was pretty interesting because it was a cool little thing to do.
Yeah, I did realize there was more Karagors and the big Graugs there. And okay, so then what do you think about Queen Marwyn?
The Queen?
Yeah, I think Marwyn was her name.
She was, like I said, almost all the characters were like, hi, you're interesting. Okay, bye.
Yeah.
And sure, her condition, I didn't really know she even had a condition. I thought she was just flat out old. until
yeah, same
until
here.
Sauron's like, I have been controlling her for 30 years. I was like, okay, you're a little creepy.
Well, that was actually Saruman, which
That
I
makes
think,
sense, Sauron.
yeah, that was a cool sort of tie-in to the Lord of the Rings. So you could see that as Saruman practicing his controlling king people power, because he used it on Theoden in the Lord of the Rings. Yeah.
That's cool. The King of Whiterun. Alright, so you'll be able to Skyrim.
Okay.
Sorry.
Once I play that.
Once you play that, 1 year.
1 year.
What was I gonna say after this? The subject of what now? Oh, yeah.
How about Torvin?
Can I say what I was gonna say before?
Sure.
Here, talk real quick. The thing you messed up.
Talk?
Yeah, you're good.
Hi,
Yeah, you're
I'm
good.
here.
You're good.
Okay.
There was the, I kind of feel like in the game, stealth is really important. It's kind of like Assassin's Creed or something like that when you play. And
Or The Last of Us.
Or The Last of Us, yeah. Because if you get caught, you're in trouble. Because there's sometimes you'll just have like an infinite amount of orcs just coming everywhere. You're like, oh, there's more of you. Oh, look, there's more of you. Oh, look, there's 50 of you. And you're sitting there and you're trying to kill them, and there are some people that are shooting at you, and others are trying to hit you with their sticks.
Yeah, now, you're saying that stealth was very important,
Yes,
and
it is.
this is probably just a difference of playstyles, but for me, like, once I got enough powers to where I felt I was good enough to not constantly die,
I mean, absolutely.
then most of the time, like, in the second place, once I felt like I got good enough, I would just rush into the strongholds and fight everyone just for the fun of it.
Yeah.
And yeah, that would get me killed a lot,
yeah,
but I'd kill way more orcs than they killed me.
It was certainly very fun. I did not, let's just say, I did not practice dying a lot in that game. But, we went in there, and once you got the, you could control them, and you could, when you started getting your power-ups, and when you got that ability where you could do 2 combos with just 1 power-up, and especially...
I don't know if... I didn't even do that. I never got that one.
I got all of them, except the one where you could kill all your guys with 1 button. But,
Oh, I got that.
once you got the ability to control them, everything was just a walk in the park. It was just, no, you're dead. No, look at that. You're dead. No, look at that. You're under my control, so you go kill them. Oh, you're dead. Oh, you're dead. You know.
Yeah, and I thought that once you could mind control them and stuff, that, like, I felt like once the game got to that point, the Nemesis stuff started to get kind of boring, but that hit at the perfect time to, like, oh my gosh, there's so much more I could do with this now. And yeah, that was really awesome.
The Nemesis stuff for me, honestly, it was the greatest thing. Like, it was
Yeah.
definitely the selling point of the game. It wasn't. There was no generated, scripted, or any kind. There was like 1 or 2 scripted because they were part of the story, but there was very few amounts of actually scripted enemies. But like I said, it's one of those situations of, well, now that I'm invincible, I don't really have a nemesis anymore. You know, you just like once I see someone, you're dead. You know, it wasn't really a matter of, well, I have to be careful around this particular guy. I can't wait till I'm strong enough to kill that guy, because once you learn the tutorials, which honestly took a year, but once you learn all the tutorials and you had at least half of the powers on the skill tree, you could kill anything. And you truly felt like you were like, oh my god! And you're like, I can kill anything! And you're just sitting there, like, I am invincible, no one can stop me.
But then they still do kill you.
Oh,
like,
no, absolutely, yeah, because there are the,
yeah.
There's one or two guys, but they have, like, their abilities, their strengths. Dude, I have one guy who he kept getting stronger for the more pain he would take.
Oh my gosh,
So it was
I never got someone like that.
I would hit one of them, and he'd get mad, so he would regenerate automatically. I was like, oh crap, so I had to figure out a way to kill this guy. And he was afraid of one thing. It was that giant grog thing. I was like, I can't get a grog, because these things are they're rare and they're hard to get. It was at that mission, the part you couldn't teleport anything yet.
Oh yeah, because I was just going to say, like, once you like one of the best power things to get in the game is where you can teleport onto the Karagor or the Graug and instantly get them.
Yeah,
that was
there was no,
one
like,
of the best ones.
There was no quick time events, which is a big part of this game. There was none of that. You had to press a button here, press a button there. It was, you look at him, press a button, and then you're over there. It wasn't a matter of, I wonder if I can get over there. It was, I'm there now.
Okay, so let's keep on moving on through the story. Let's talk about Torvin, the hunter dwarf guy.
Oh, he was probably
he was really cool, and probably the character that I got the most attached to, which, he was.
On a scale of 1 to 10, he was probably on the Ellie side for me.
That far.
Torvin's my Ellie. Go ahead.
He's an Ellie that is a big hunter,
bearded.
And has scars all over his chest.
It's a bearded Ellie. Go ahead.
Okay. So he was cool. I thought the part where oh my gosh. Okay, the part where you fight the big horned Graug thing.
That was
stupid.
I was actually talking to you guys as I was doing it.
Yeah, that wasn't my least favorite boss fight because we'll get to that part later.
Oh,
but it wasn't very good.
Yeah, it was hard because you could only kill him in one very, very specific way. And it was when he was charging at you, you had to hit him in the eye or something, right? Or you had him in a very, very small place, and you had to, like, only a very small amount of time, so you had to slow down time, and you only have like 5 seconds to slow down time. And so you're like, I gotta hit him right there. I mean, it certainly kept you aware and awake, but the only way you could recharge your thing is if you killed something, and the only things that would come out was those stupid, like, night crawlers or whatever they were.
Oh, the ghouls.
Yeah, the ghouls. The only thing that would come out was the ghouls, so you had to kill ghouls by the truckloads in order to get your points up. And the funny thing was, he was eating them as you were trying to kill them. It's like, dude, can you not? Can you focus
that
on trying to kill me?
fight was annoying.
It was very annoying. I died once.
I died multiple times. But, alright, so moving on more, I think this would be a good time to talk about Celebrimbor and his past and what you find out about that.
Okay, go ahead.
So, I'll just go first on this one. Okay, so, I think that was the best part of the scripted story in the game, is Celebrimbor and that stuff. And it's cool, seeing Sauron was like his friends back when Sauron was like an elf.
Yeah, it was
though technically, Sauron isn't an elf at all, he just kind of disguised himself as an elf, I think, but then he tricks Celebrimbor, he murders his family, makes him make some rings, and then Sauron goes and makes his one ring, and he's like, haha, evilness, yay.
Can I add something real quick?
Yeah, sure.
There were the story back then. They were very vague. I mean, he had a voiceover every now and then of what was happening in the story, but I don't know, how did he kill his family? Did Sauron kill his family, or did Sauron make him kill his own family? Because the story was, I didn't understand what's happening because it only showed a few images.
Yeah.
And
As
there were very faint and vague voiceovers, so you would sit there,
as yeah.
what's happening? Okay, there's a bloody hatchet. What's happening now? Okay, what? Who's holding the hatchet? I don't even know. It just had a picture of a hand holding a hatchet that was bloody. I was like, who killed him?
As I understood it, Sauron killed his family with the ring forge hammer thing. Yeah. So let's see. What do we have left in the game? Oh, the girl who's some sort of a love interest, but that was weird, and I never even felt that attached to her. She was weird.
Was she a love interest? Because she was actually a downloadable player.
I don't know. And also, it would seem weird that it's like, my wife just died. Oh, let's just go hang out with this chick. You know?
That reminds me of a Mass Effect saying, I'll explain later to you when we're not recording.
Okay. Yeah, that was kind of weird.
Sorry.
Do you have any comments on that, or?
She was, like I said, she was actually one of the people that stuck around for the longest. She seemingly kind of followed you everywhere. She would never help in anything. She just kind of followed you everywhere.
And there's like, oh, let's go rescue her now.
Yeah,
And then didn't
mission.
Celebrimbor like not want to rescue her?
Yeah, for some reason, because like you'll jeopardize the mission. I'm like, what mission are we jeopardizing here? We have literally an infinite amount of health, and you're sitting there just like, I don't know. We should not want to do this.
Yeah.
Jeopardizing. I'm like, jeopardizing what, man?
Let's go play Jeopardy.
Dun.
Yeah.
You'll also find yourself making a lot of music when you're playing this game. To yourself.
Music. Yeah.
It was me a lot. I was like, dun 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 dun.
Okay, so let's.
It's like Lord of the Rings music on my head. I was like, ooh.
Dun dun da da dun.
Yeah. That was me the whole way through. I'm not a nerd, okay? I like the passion.
Okay, so let's talk about the ending now, which I would consider like the three major parts of the end to be.
What about the boss fight? The second boss fight.
I'll get to that.
No, the second boss fight.
No. Okay, so the major parts of the ending for me were 1, getting your 5 war chiefs to battle people.
Actually, that was pretty interesting. I mean,
yeah,
it wasn't like
2.
I can't believe this is amazing, but it was like, no, this is pretty interesting.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm sorry.
Let me finish saying these things
Okay.
first. 2 was the fight with the tower, and then 3 was the fight with the Black Hand, aka Sauron. Which,
is the Black Hand Sauron?
I'm pretty sure. Okay, so I read up on some Middle Earth lore because I was kind of confused by that, and I think the Black Hand. This is gonna sound kind of weird, and it sounds so weird that I don't even know if it's true. But so you know when Isildur cut off Sauron's like finger that had the ring on it, right?
Yep.
So I think the Black Hand is the finger grew back like a body of Sauron, and that's what the Black Hand is or something. But he's not fully Sauron. Oh yeah, maybe did. I don't know. I heard that. I don't know if it's right. Maybe that's what happens in the books or something. But basically, Sauron possesses him, and he's like not quite Sauron, but kind of. But let's not talk about the final boss fight yet.
But the ending, when he walked away with...
No, not yet. Let's save that for last. First, how about...
You said talk about the ending.
Not yet. First, the 5 war chiefs you got on your side.
Yeah. Those are cool. They made you go to all these forts and stuff. The war chiefs are never walking around like all the other guys. Because they're really mighty and special.
Yeah.
There was one scripted war chief battle, and it was, you had to... I think he had to, like, attack his twin or something.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That was back on the first map.
Yeah. And it was like, that was that, and then the rest of them is history, so.
Yeah, I thought that getting the 5 war chiefs to, like, help you fight the final battle was awesome, and, like, one of the best things in the campaign of that game. Because it takes everything that you've been learning, all of these skills in the game, and then it takes it towards the ending and sort of like the final fight sort of things. But then at the same time, my biggest problems with the ending of this game is that it does that, but then it totally drops them and does something else. That was just
No, it was
stupid.
very frustrating.
Okay, so tower boss fight.
Okay,
Let's
yeah.
talk about that.
That was just a stealth thing. There was no fighting. It was
Yeah,
just-
you just like stealth jump on him like once or twice or something. Then you press a button.
you just like,
That was horrible.
and it was terrible. But the scene where you tried to charge your army into his castle, that was the best thing about that level.
Yeah.
It was in a desert place. It was,
Yeah.
I'm kind of disappointed they didn't make it
That was
to an
cool.
area.
Uh huh.
I wish they would have done that. That would have been really cool.
Absolutely.
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 I concur.
Um,
I concur. Yes.
and then after that, you go and like take your 5 orc dudes and march on the Black Gate, where you're gonna fight the Black Hand of Sauron. That was cool. That was like the same thing, just in a different location.
Yeah, it was still really cool. I wish you could have done that manually. Like, you could have done that by yourself whenever you wanted. Like,
Mhm.
I want to take all my guys and make them all go kill them. That would have been cool. But you
Uh-huh.
couldn't do that, so.
So now we finally get to my least favorite thing about Middle-earth: Shadow of Mordor, the very ending.
Boss
The
fight.
final boss fight. What
Was-
the heck
was
was that?
a quick
It's
time
just
event?
quick time events. It doesn't use any of the skills you learn throughout the game.
I
can
know!
rage about this so much. That ending was horrible.
I know
It
it was
sucked.
terrific.
Oh my god.
But no one really liked it for the story anyway, so I guess it doesn't count off
Yeah.
too much. But still, everything you learn, every single thing
Like,
you
nope,
did.
do quick
it's
time
like,
events to fight Sauron.
it's like, finally, I'm gonna kill you. It's like, square, circle, X, circle, square. You're like, what the heck?
And then I feel like I was so mad at that final boss fight that when the actual like ending stuff happened after that, I was kind of out of it. But like, what even happened? Did their souls depart and go into the land of souls
I don't
or
think
something?
I don't think that Sauron's soul actually left. Not Sauron. I think that Sauron went like the Black Hand into Talion. So that's what my personal opinion is, because his eyes turned all like orange at the end. I was like, what is happening?
I don't even remember that. I must have been so out of it in the end. I
Because-
also.
I think Talion turned evil.
Oh, whoa. I also read something about the ending that said something like, that Celebrimbor and Talion plan to make their own ring to fight Sauron. First off, if that's true, that sounds stupid. Second, I don't even remember that. Maybe I was so out of it because that boss fight was stupid.
How are they gonna fit that into this?
I don't know. I don't know. That's dumb too. It's like, well, then is this going to be in an alternate universe to the Lord of the Rings?
Yeah, no, all you gotta do about the game, if they would have hired some better story writers.
Yeah.
And you would have spent more time with people you actually cared about, that you were supposed to care
Like
about.
Torvin.
Yeah, like your kids or something.
Oh yeah, that's
And your wife was like, when they died, I didn't feel real sadness. I was like, oh, well, that sucks for you. You know, move on. Yeah, I didn't care about them. I was like, okay, buddy, that sucks, but we go kill some orcs now because this is pretty boring. Yeah.
Yeah, I actually cared about them more than you did, but
Well, I mean,
it wasn't as much as, let's just say, if in The Last of Us Ellie died at one point, which I'm not saying that happens or not.
I'm pretty sure 95% of the population of Earth would die then too.
Yeah, this isn't a spoiler talk for The Last of Us.
No.
This is for
Which
something.
didn't happen, by the way. Maybe it did. We don't know. You
Oh
can't
yeah, I don't know if we're going to that. Probably not.
Who wants the spoiler talk of The Last of Us?
Everyone's already done that one. No one has done it for this game. Maybe some people.
Okay. Continuing.
Well, that's kind of all, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's pretty much it. What was it? You have anything else you wanted to add?
Leave some questions for Defunky Duck. Ask him about what he uses on his eyebrows to make them so beautiful. Actually, actually, you should probably make up your own question.
Yeah. Oh, you also got to do it with the hashtag at @DefunkyDuck, not hash brown like I had in my video. It's hashtag at @DefunkyDuck.
Yeah, you could do it on Twitter too, but this is more direct and right here and easy to do.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yes. I mean, I don't want to pollute your comment section or anything.
Well, anyways, thank you for watching. Go subscribe to Defunky Duck. or else angry baboons will eat you while you're sleeping.
It was a terrible night when that happens. I tell you, man, it was the worst day.
Yeah.
They just came up and you're like, oh, hi, how you doing there? Oh, look, my face is gone.
Yep, like the video if you enjoyed, guys, and have a great day. Finish it off, Duck.
Do 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 do. Do 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 do